All right, everybody, welcome to my channel, and we're gonna play a little bit today, and a new Let's Play I've decided on the new map. Now, it's been out for a little while now. It's Flint Hills Map. It's out of the great state of Iowa. It's a pretty good map, to say the least. It's a 4X map. It's absolutely ginormous, as you can see in the corner. The field size is 252 acres. I mean, that's just absolutely massive. But what I've decided to do is do a little bit more of an extreme type of Let's Play. Something that, after talking to several YouTubers and many people in the community, something that people aren't doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a play with the seasons mod. I'm going to play on 24-day seasons at 1x speed, as you can see up in the corner. And we're going to try to do this with some serious rules applied. I'll go over them, and you'll see that it's pretty extreme. All right, starting off, first and foremost, you must play a minimum of 12 hours, maximum of 15 hours. Because we want to make sure that we're sleeping like we do in real life. I want to make sure that for at least 9 hours we're getting sleep. This is going to start off as a single-player playthrough and maybe possibly go to a multiplayer later. And just to clear things up right away, I'm not going to post any links to any mods that I'm using until after I discuss it with the mod authors and make sure that they want them released. Because some of the mods that people have given me over the years are private, and the one thing that I've learned is I don't want to step on toes, and I definitely don't want to hurt people's feelings. So what I want to do is make sure that any mod that I use is just for my personal use for right now, and if I get their permission, then we'll go from there. And if they give me the okay, I'll release it and let them go. I'd say about 85% of the mods that I have, I get off the Farming Simulator website anyways, so they're free game anyways. It's some of the trucks that I use and some of the things that I use. Getting back to the rules. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting on Start from Scratch with $500,000. We're not allowed to take a loan. We can sell the starting equipment that comes with the map if we'd like, and we can then start building our own farm. Because the one thing that the map author did with this map is he made it possible to sell everything. Every single thing on the map you can sell that's starting equipment, from the equipment to these sheds, except for the corn dryer. That absolutely stays on the map. This one here has to stay here because it's embedded in the map. Also, if you do play this map, you're going to need the Global Company mod, because in order to use the corn dryer, it needs the Global Company. But Global Companies, some people like it, some people don't. I usually put it on my maps and just forget my Let's Plays. But so to give you an idea, I mean, if once we sell all of this stuff, this yard will be huge. Oh, the other thing that stays is the house. Let me run over there and I'll show you. So it does not have any sleep triggers on it, so you will have to get one from the in-game mod hub. They have several of them in there, or your own house. What we're going to do in this Let's Play is I'm going to put a sleep trigger at this house because I think it's really cool. And we're going to use this as our main house. But getting back to our rules a little bit. So, minimum of 12 hours at 1x speed. Maximum of 15 hours. So that way we can at least sleep for 9 hours a day. Cannot take a loan. Cannot use hired help. Must drive everywhere. If you use animals, if you have any animals on the map, you must drive to the animal dealer. And you must pick them up with a trailer and bring them back. If you decide to do pigs, you must sell them with a trailer. You can't just cheat, is the way I look at it, and sell them right from there or buy them right from there. This is going to be as realistic of a playthrough. The only thing I decided against in this Let's Play is I didn't want precision farming. I think that real farmers, they do scan their fields. They do have many ways to test nitrogen levels and etc. But a lot of the smaller time farmers don't do that. They just deal with the yield that they get, and they deal with the conditions that they have. In fact, many farmers that I know in real life don't even spread lime. Most of them that are small-time farmers, and I'm talking about guys that have like 60-acre fields or less, they're not worried about liming and stuff like that. They're worried more about getting their crops in the ground, getting them up. Most farmers will feed their animals first, then if they have anything. But the big industrial farms out Midwest, hence what this map was originally made for, was big commercial farming. We're going to play this map super small time. So I'm going to try to keep the videos short, like I stated. And if I have to, I'll time-lapse them so that we don't get into you guys watching me play for 10, 12, 14, 16 hours plowing one field. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm using realistic size equipment. Nothing more than probably 6 meters at the max. Because unless you're a commercial farmer, like I talk to many people, you don't have that big 14, 16, 18, 20 meter cultivator. You have, 4 to 6 meters is a big piece of equipment. In fact, I've met many farmers in real life that have 400, 600, 800 horsepower tractors, but only a 6 meter plow. It's just because they don't do that. I mean, unless you're doing thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, you can't afford those big pieces of equipment. So that's the other thing we're going to do is we're going to keep it super down low, super small in what many people do, super realistic speeds, realistic time. Obviously, we're going to play this as a real farmer would do. But the only cheat that I'm going to allow is when we do bales, I'm going to use the super strength mod. And the reason I'm doing that is because the one thing that Giants messed up on is they messed up on the scales. Because in real life, a round bale, a large round bale, you'd need a forklift to pick it up or a big piece of equipment because they're huge. They made the size scales too small. So what they did is they made the balers and the bales, round bales, square bales, etc., pallets, small to like a round bale in real life, the ones that you drive by and you see all the silage bales sitting outside of like one of these sheds or on the side of a field. You drive by in up here in the East Coast where I live, you drive by many farms and you just see the round silage bales just sitting in the field or sitting alongside a barn or just wherever they can, and they're huge. They use skid steers, they use big pieces of telehandlers, things like that to lift them up. So they're huge. But our bales in this game are small. So to me, I'm going to represent them as small bales, even though they're 4,000 liters. What I may do later is if I decide to change it to the 10,000 liter bales, or that's the other thing that Giants did I'm a little frustrated with is when you're using, real farmers use bushels. Real farmers use weights. For example, their tractors and things are able to pull so many tons. Here, Giants uses liters, which I understand. They're from Europe, and they use a little different than what we use here in the United States. And there's many mods out there that I can put into the game. So I looked at it realistically is if we wanted to match the size bales that they are in real life, they would have to be 10,000 to 20,000 liters to match them. And then if I make sure that if I use those size increments, then I'll use a forklift or I'll use something to pick them up that they would use in real life. But if I'm just picking up a single bale that's 4,000 liters, I'm going to use super strength because I'm going to throw it in the back of a truck and I'm going to bring it home. Because that's what they would do in real life. Most real life bales weigh 80 to 100 pounds. And, when I was growing up, we loaded many bales on a trailer by hand, many in a hayloft by hand. And I know that many of you watching this have done the same. So that's the only cheat that I'm going to allow myself to use is the super strength mod to lift up bales. But if I cut down trees and things like that, I will do it realistically. I'm not going to pull out a... This map doesn't have a ton of trees. It's got a ton of these kind of trees. So you're not going to be able to use a harvester on them. You're going to have to use a chainsaw, and you're going to have to chill them down. But I'm going to do it realistically. If I cut it down, I'll cut it in small enough pieces. I'll throw it in a trailer. We'll get rid of the stump, the whole 9 yards. So I'm not going to pull out a tree harvester just for, a few of these trees. I'll do it. If I want to expand a field, I'll do it realistically. So that's where we're at with the plays, the rules, and the Let's Play. As we go, what I may do is open it up to you guys watching to see what you guys would think we should do. If you want to move this or move that or change the field or do that, I might do that. Let you guys do that. Let you guys make the decision. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started because I'm going to try to keep the first video here to about 20 minutes. And as you can see by the real time up in the top, it's been about 11 minutes that I've been rambling, boring, walking around, doing nothing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sell all of this equipment. And we're going to have quite a chunk of money. But we still have to keep in mind we still have to buy fields. We have to buy equipment. We have to buy the things to get us actually going. The disadvantage to the way that I'm going to play is we're not going to have a lot of money because these fields... Oh, which reminds me, let me show you the map here. As you can see, it's massive. I mean, the field we're on right now, that field 9 is the 200 acres. The one across the street, field 5 is 16 acres. Field 4 is 132 acres. So, we're going to be able to buy a few of these to get started, but we're not going to be able to go and buy the whole map. At first, when I sell everything, you're going to see we're going to have, $2 or $3 million probably because these sheds are... Oh, and by the way, in the map, the map author has put it in where you can sell these, but you can also buy them. And you can buy that one. And he has one more that, let me show you here. He has sheds. As you can see, you can buy these sheds from the in-game store and place them wherever you want, which is kind of cool. Storage sheds and 12 by 225s and 72. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that the map author did that because more and more maps nowadays, they don't do that. They don't give you the opportunity to sell off a shed if you don't like it. Or maybe I love this shed, which I absolutely do, but maybe I don't want it right there. Maybe I want it way over there, or maybe I want it over there, or maybe I want it on top of the silo. All kidding aside, I mean, map authors need to give the people the opportunity to build their own farm. That's what Farm Sim 19 is all about. In 17, it was all about, you dealt with the farm that was there and you just went from there. But 19 is all about, and I know that FS 21 coming out is going to be really pushing it. I've talked to many people that are involved in testing, and it's going to be really pushing the limits of build your own farm. So, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to wrap this up here. So we're going to go in the garage, and I'm going to start. Because you start with some big equipment. Well, that to me isn't realistic. So we're going to sell all of this stuff. Bada bing, bada boom. The other thing that I'm going to do, and I see this, the map author included even windmills so you could make money. But I don't want those. So let me just give you an idea of how big this map is. Which, let me do something real quick, give you guys a heads up. We're going to show you, get a little aerial view here. Because people are, you can talk about 232 acre field until you actually see it. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be plowing this thing with 6-meter equipment. I mean, it's going to take me days probably, which is what it would. Like I stated earlier, this little field here is 16-acre field. So it's not very big, but 16 acres, I mean. And then across. The nice thing about this map is he's done it so realistically that he's put the little channels on the edge of the roads. So the roads are raised a little bit, but that's what they are in the Midwest. I mean, this is he did a fantastic job, and the poles have collisions on them. So you can't, the only reason I went through this because it's flight mode, but they have collisions on them. So if you were to decide to make that field all the way to the edge of the thing, you got to deal with the ditch and to deal with the power lines. I mean, we don't got very many maps out there with power lines. Most people just throw them up there and they're done. But I mean, the guy did a great job. But as you can see, I've got $2 million now. Now I've got to start. The first thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start off with some animals maybe. And I think I'm going to start off with some animals. So let's first of all, let's save that. Apparently I forgot that's the other thing. Oh, there's missions on all the fields, which you can see. Some of them are pretty decent size, but, like, for example, this one pays 42,000, but you're plowing a, 67-acre field. Try that with a 6-meter equipment. It's going to take you 4 days to do it, which is going to be fun in itself. But I forgot what I did is it's going to be on hard. I'm going to leave the traffic on. Dirt is going to be slow like normal because tractors in real life, they don't get muddy in 2 seconds. They take a while. This is going to be on because I don't want to play that game. Because I used to play the game, I use a steering wheel and pedals. I don't use... right now I'm using a controller to do all this stuff. But as you can see, all of this stuff is going to stay off. Crop destruction is going to stay off. And the reason why... Well, I'm going to leave it on. Periodic plowing is on, all that stuff. But I want to turn this off. Because normally what you would do is crop destruction would be on. But if you're starting in the spring, farmers aren't worried about crop destruction. They're just trying to get their fields tilled and ready to go. They're just driving over, like for example, they're just driving over this grass and he was luckily enough, got it to where there's a first level of grass here, which is good. So technically you could mow it if you wanted. But most farmers, they'll just come in here and they'll just start ripping this up and going and going and going. Because spring is all about let's move, let's get stuff done. So the first thing I'm going to buy, because I'm going to wrap this up here soon, is on my first video, we've got this nice little barn. It has, small to start with. And where's my farm? Oh, over there. I was like, where'd they put me? Why did they make me buy it over there? The other thing I have to do, just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I had forgot to activate the global company mod place anywhere. So I wanted to make sure that I did that before I started. So let's get back into my animal pens. The nice thing about this mod, this little cow barn here, look at it, holds 500 and it's tiny. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. So you can put this almost right up to the edge of the road, which is really neat. I mean, look how many I could fit in here if I wanted. Like I told you guys earlier, this yard is going to be huge by the time I'm done. So I'm going to move this. I want to be able to drive around it. So let's put it right there. And then as you can see, let's turn the flight mode off so I can get back to talking with you guys. The other thing is there's going to be no tabbing of vehicles, so you're going to have to do it to where you have to walk. One of the mods that's from the Mod Hub that I will mention is the Animal Pen extension. That just makes it, most farmers these days, they have piping to where they can, put the piping in for their animals. It just makes more sense. Some of them still do it. Some of the older farmers still, like I have one of my neighbors that literally just still carries water every day. I think I'm going to try red, just so it sticks out. But because we're planning on having multiple animals on this farm, we're going to do this, like that. Okay? And then this little thing here, this Lely thing, gives you the opportunity to sell your milk automatically if you want. But we're not going to do that. We're gonna put it into a trailer and do it. So just rotate it, get it where it needs to be. I'm going to put it right on the edge of the building here, which won't mean anything. Now, this is my milk sales right here. This here is my animal buy dealer. So if I wanted to buy animals, I could. But we're gonna go to the actual animal dealer. The nice thing about this little mod, you can open the fence, ba-ding, get your trailer in and out, ba-ding, put it right back up. And then inside here, and the mod author of this, like I said, if he okays it, I'm going to go ahead and release it to the public. Your food triggers right here. It will just go into the pit. It'll fill like a little trough, baby trough up here. This here's your straw trigger. This is where, and it will accept bales. It'll accept, you can just drop the bale in there and it'll go. So they thought of it. But what this is originally, I broke it apart. It was originally part of a mod that, as you can see over here, what they did is this here is this is your slurry pickup right there. Boom. And this is where you clean your muck out. You have to come in here and clean it out. Boom, boom, boom. But this was part of where you could walk your cows to another part of the pasture. That's why it holds 500. Because realistically, they would, every couple of days, they would let them graze for a couple of days. And then they'd move them to another pasture. And it was attached to a bigger section that was huge. And it was just a grass field. And you would walk them out here. And boom. So I detached that myself. And I just put this mod here so that I can do things the way, like a little bit more like Giants would want you to do it. But that's why that's there. I left that because I figured, well, eventually I might put it back on. But the mod author even put an electric box. I mean, how realistic is that? I mean, it's kind of cool. This is all set up. This is also set up for the manure mod. You come in here and you can hook your hose up and turn it on. Boom. You get your slurry out. Like I said, to clean the manure out, you got to come in here and actually muck it out. But you see how they had the automatic feeder in here as well. So you'd walk your cows out, would go into a pasture, boom. Then the cart would come in and feed them. But like I said, I took that apart myself and did it myself and made it a little bit smaller so that it would. But I left the 500 because I thought, well, if I ever add it again, we can just walk our cows out. Anyways, that's the start. We got our first animal pen down. We got things sold. I explained the way things work. We're going to get you guys set up. Just make sure at the end of the video, you like it, share it if you like it. If you have any ideas of how you want to do things, I'm all ears. I'm definitely in this. I mean, playing 24-day seasons, I'm in it for the long haul. So if you guys want any changes, anything that you want to add to it, see, he even put sluice pipes in. It's just amazing. And the water moves through them. That means the guy thought of everything, I'll tell you. And that's why I like it. Because there's a lot of maps out there that they just throw in place. Giants was guilty of it, too. They just threw a bunch of maps in place. And, at first I thought that was invisible when I walked around it. And then I banged into it. Giants even threw some maps out there that you think, wow, I can't believe that they would, the detail, like floating trees and things like this. This guy purposely went through every tree and made sure that, just as I say that, I found one. I'm going to have to pick on him. Because he told me that he went through all the trees and fixed them and did what he had to do. And very first thing, I find one. That's funny. But I'm sure we can still cut that down. Trust me. But it's just, I mean, there's the clouds and everything. As you can see, it's cloudy. It's going to rain. I also put the date at the one mod that I put in there was date for time for seasons. because as you can see, we're going to start this on March 1st, 2021. Our end goal is to either own all the map or 10,000 cows, because I'm going to start small, realistic, and eventually become a commercial farmer. That's what my goal is to become big enough to where we're making money hand over fists. We're doing what we have to do. We then move up to the big equipment, owning the whole map, doing the whole thing. Because if you're doing it by yourself, eventually you're going to want big equipment. But I'm going to wrap this up. It's been about 25-minute video, which is too long in my opinion. Just make sure you like, subscribe, do what you got to do. You know how YouTube works. And everybody have a great day, because to me, farming sim is not about, I play the game to escape. I play the game to do it the way that it was meant to be. I'm not up here going to be forcefully trying to push my way through days for content. I'm going to play this the way it is, and I'm hoping that you guys understand that there's not enough people out there playing games like a simulator game. It's got simulator in the name for a reason. They're not playing it like a simulator. They're playing it like a game. Back in Farm Sim 17, I had a server, and you get the people on there that, and that's the nice thing about the game, is you can play it any way you want. But you get them on there, and you're over there plowing a field, and you're trying to do it realistically, and all of a sudden you see this, kid driving a truck off the top of a roof. It still baffles my mind. But on the next episode, we'll get some sheds in. We'll buy the land. And we'll go from there, because I still don't own this land. I'm going to buy it. Which actually what I should do is buy that right now, just so that it's realistic. What I did is I put the place anywhere mod. See, they broke it up to where you have to buy the yard. Okay, that's $47,000. And I'm going to buy this big field here, look at 1.3 mil. So if you look at reality, now our money's dropped. We still have to buy equipment, and we still have to buy sheds. So we may be doing a few missions to get started. But on the next episode, we're going to get it set up. We're going to buy some sheds. We're going to buy our first truck. We're going to try to get our animals in here. And everyone have a great evening. And everybody just enjoy, because that's what this is going to be about. It's not going to be about pushing and shoving and trying to get things done as quickly as we can, because that's why I'm playing such long seasons. I want to relax. I want to have a good time. I want you guys to have a good time. And if it takes off like it's supposed to, maybe we'll go live a few times. But everybody have a great night. Take care. Take care of each other. Be safe. Thank you.